Hello, gorgeous ones. I'm trying something new again this morning. It is using this StreamYard service, which, as you all know, I used on Tuesday night for the cooking show with the lovely Daniela and Michelle from Thermo Foodie. And it wasn't that good from my end. So I wanted to give it another crack. Part of life is trying things out and then if it doesn't work, giving it another crack. So adjusting, working out what didn't work and giving it another crack. So the reason I like using this service is two things. I can do it on my laptop and I can do the video that will go to our page, our group and momentum. So I'm hoping, lovelies, that this is working this morning. And if it does, it'll be a really great way for us to be able to communicate easily and me to be able to, I guess, spread it across a number of platforms without having to manually add it all in. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Jodes. Good morning, Melissa. You know what? So I am a bit more dressed up this morning because this morning I'm doing a couple of things. Apart from our very last coaching call for the 12-weekers, I am recording my talk that I'm giving for the Low Carb Lifestyle Hub. And the talk is on menopause, perimenopause, and weight gain. And so I thought I'd better dress up a bit for that. Thank you, lovely. I know. I'm very happy with my scarf. This was a present for my 50th a few years ago. And I just thought these earrings tie in nicely. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes. Awesome. So this morning, my loves, what I want to talk about is the difference between balance and moderation. So moderation, we hear this all the time in diet talk, everything in moderation. Just have what you like, just have a little bit. Use your willpower to portion control, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm telling you that's bullshit. There are things in our life that some of us can't moderate, no matter how hard we try. So moderation doesn't work for certain products and certain people. So, I've just got a bit of a sniffle. What I would love to remind you is that, so for me, I find it very hard to moderate things like Maltesers, licorice bullets, anything that is a little bit of sweet into your mouth, which is why I don't eat them anymore. I can't moderate Tim Tams, chocolate biscuits, stuff like that. There is no moderation in my life. Hot chips, Tracy's just put. For people, it is either going to be, some people have both, the sweet and the savory. Some people, it's very much the sweet, and some people, it's very much the savory. So this moderation business is bullshit. It's used to make you feel bad, and it's used for food companies to tell you eat their product as part of a moderated diet. Eat in moderation as part of a balanced diet is what they will say. And that's just rubbish. Alcohol companies do it, drink in moderation, and gambling companies do it, gamble irresponsibly. For some people, this is not an option. And that's nothing to do with willpower or weakness. It's just the things that light up our dopamine receptors in our brain. And for some people, those products are like heroin. Okay, they are just that addictive. Balance is different. So balance is a whole concept that is not just about a specific food product. So, for example, the balance between rest and activity, the balance between being kind to yourself and letting yourself off the hook, the balance between eating something that's maybe not on your plan, telling yourself that's okay, because again, we're not about perfection, but then doing it every day. That's then not balance. So you can see the difference. It's not about the balanced as in moderation. It is about knowing this balance for yourself. I kind of imagine it's like navigating a path through the jungle. And on one side, there are things like, extremes. Basically, it's extremes. And again, as you know, Dr. Mary and I are often navigating our path through the weight loss industry. So through diet trauma on one side, diet culture, which is all about restriction. It's all about not being good enough unless you're thin. It's all about perfectionism. It's all about, language like cheating and breaking your diet, all of that. That's on one side. And on the other side, we've got, you can't change your body shape, eat whatever you want. It's all right. That sort of, those two extremes. And we are really looking at this idea of really, really wanting to come up with the balance for that, recognizing that perfection is unhelpful, recognizing that, negative self-talk, berating, self-loathing, that they're not helpful, versus this idea of actually just disengaging completely, which is what we call hiding, and just kind of going rogue, taking your four-wheel drive off somewhere. So that's really the difference between moderation and balance. Moderation is just this idea that you can have a little bit of everything. Everyone can have a little bit of everything, and that's just simply not true. Balance is working out what is your balance, what are your scales, not physical scales, your mind scales, and what works for you. So, again, this is why you need to know yourself well. So for me, licorice bullets I'm never going to be able to balance them. I can't balance. I can't even moderate really. As we've talked about nuts, they're not that easy for me to moderate. Thank you, darling. I know everyone's loving my scarf this morning. Thank you. It was a gift. Know yourself. So, as I've talked about, I find drinking wine reasonably easy to moderate. I can have a glass and the bottle will sit in the fridge for the rest of the week. Sometimes I'll realize that I'm getting a bit regular and I can easily pull it back. That for me is easy, but it's not easy for everybody. I know this. And so you really need to know how. I'll do a demonstration, Brod, on how to tie this scarf. Super easy. So this is a long scarf, okay? And basically I just put it around, I've put it in half, put it around my neck. I take one thingy, put it like that, take the other one and wrap it around like that. Pull it tight. Hang on. It's hard looking in the mirror and doing it backwards. That way and that way. And then just sort of organize it. So the summary, darlings, know yourself well, be really honest with yourself, and recognize that when something is hard for you to regulate, it is easier to not have it in your life. It truly is. Remember, we're all about ease. So you're not battling. Okay, battling and struggling, they're the words that come. Again, diet culture, battling your addiction even. How about the idea that we want to make our lives easy? It is easier for me not to have licorice bullets than it is to have a few. It is easier, as Rebecca's just written, to not eat macadamias than have a few. Yes, they're on the allowed list, but the allowed list is really what works for you. Okay, so, and again, people, this rigid diet culture, and this comes up with, as I'm babbling on a bit this morning, but this comes up with carrots, okay? Carrots are like, I don't know what to do with the carrot. The carrot comes up often. Can we have carrots? Am I allowed carrots? Okay, again, diet culture, those words. Most people do not have a problem moderating carrots. So if you put carrots in your dinner, half a carrot, put a carrot in your casserole. If you grate it up in your bolognese, it's no big deal. If you eat carrot soup, then that's a hell of a lot of carbs because carrots are quite carby. But the thing with carrots is that we usually don't eat lots of them. So, again, this is where learning to know yourself and really understanding flexibility versus rigidity versus giving yourself a whole pass. So, yes, there we go, my loves. All right, I'm off. I've got a busy day today, including recording this talk for the Low Carb Lifestyle Hub. If you haven't signed up, it's free if you watch it live between the 19th and the 21st, I think 19, 20, 21st of August. So not this weekend, next weekend. If you don't have time to watch it all live, you can pay for the recordings. It's a total bargain. Can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's not very expensive. So there we go. Good. All right, my loves. I'll see you all Monday morning. Have the most beautiful, balanced, positive weekend. And I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.